Crazy interview here between Donald J. Trump and Theo Vongh, comedian Theo Vongh. This interview was published 3.5 days ago and it has 11 million views. It has been everywhere, but a lot of people in the media is trying to ignore this interview. And I believe that in this interview, one of the main reasons why the media really doesn't want to talk about this is because Donald Trump speaks about things that a lot of people don't know about. And like I always told you before, the media gets very scared when you humanize Trump. When Trump starts to talk like a human, they start to panic and they start trying to erase things. Well, in this interview, they're going to talk about drugs, alcoholism, addiction, and they're going to talk about lobbying and the United States of America's politics. Boy, oh boy, buckle up. This is a big one. I don't know if you guys seen this interview, but man, they talk about some things we got to talk about. Smash the like button. Let's go.
Losing everything, you know?
Yeah, no, they lose everything. Many people. And in those days, it wasn't drugs. It wasn't like don't drink, don't take drugs. I don't think drugs, I don't even know whether they're even a factor. They happened pretty long time ago, but I think in those days, I don't think were drugs a factor. You go back 25 years ago.
Not like it is now.
Well, certainly not like now. And
and that actually takes me into something else I wanted to talk about. Like alcoholism and addiction is something that's really ramped up, even like you're saying, like in the past.
Before we continue, has anybody in the chat ever dealt with alcoholism or family members that have been addicted? I know I've dealt with opioid crisis in the Bronx, New York. I've lost literally a group of friends within different years, but all pretty much around the same time that all died from drug addiction.
Past 20, 30 years in our country, right? And during the opioid epidemic, they estimate that like almost 600,000 people died.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even include the broken hearts and the deaths of families and circles of trust, all, you know, just people that lost a brother. Doesn't even include the actual the siblings,
right?
Or, you know, and so the ripple effect of that is huge. And there's that Sackler family that pretty much got away with it. You know, they had a financial slap on the wrist, but
wow, is he talking to Trump about this?
And so the ripple effect of that is huge. And there's that Sackler family that pretty much got away with it. You know, they had a financial slap on the wrist, but we're one of the only countries that allows drug advertisements and pharmaceutical companies to advertise on television. Like, what do you think are things that you can do to help curtail that when you get in office?
So, well, we did a great job. We had.
Does that make sense or not?
Yes,
that question?
it does make sense. And
oh boy,
we had committees, blue ribbon committees in certain cases, but committees that would meet. The big problem we have is, you know, fentanyl is probably the biggest. Opioid is bad. Opioid is bad too.
Yeah.
I think that's bad because everyone thinks, you know, in many cases, they think they're going to do away with pain. And literally the time is so short. If you take it for like 2 weeks, you're almost addicted to it. It's incredible when you.
Oh, well, all of that is horrible. But
why do we allow that? How did you get addicted? How did?
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, yeah. So,
whoa, buddy. Whoa, slow down. Look at Trump's face when he said that.
Do it. It's incredible when you.
Oh, well, all of that is horrible. But why do we allow that?
How did you get addicted? How did?
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, yeah. So not just, yeah.
That's down and dirty, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it was, yeah.
But you don't anymore?
No, I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing it.
Is it too?
Well, I can't believe we just said that to Trump.
Too much to handle.
Some of the stuff started to get a real rattle in it too. I don't know where we were even getting it from in this country, but yeah, it started to make me feel like I was a mechanic or something.
So the thing you go back to then is alcohol.
What?
Yeah, it started to make me feel like I was a mechanic or something.
So the thing you go back to then is alcohol for the most part.
Right. Yeah. But what I want probably is cocaine, but I know that if I have a drink, then it'll like, be like, okay, well, I had a drink, then I can do this.
Is cocaine a stronger,
oh yeah.
Up?
Yeah. Cocaine
so you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh no. It would turn you into a what? An owl?
with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll be out on your own porch, you know,
Yeah.
and you'll be your own street lamp. You're freaking.
And is that a good feeling? Well,
No,
it's
horrible.
a miserable feeling.
But you do
As
it
you-
anyway, just like the guy you're saying with the scotch. Like you knew it was bad, but you still.
So it's not even good during what would be normally the good time. In other words, oh wow. So why would you do it?
I wouldn't. That's why I don't.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But it's crazy because that's what alcoholism is. I think it's that it trumps the why.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it just, you don't, and you just go to. It's like, so that's why they say that it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. That's what they say about alcoholism.
Yeah.
And it is. It's
Which is a bigger problem in our country, would you say?
opioids.
Opioids, yeah. I like that Trump is asking this, man. This is a real question. This is what, but he has been talking about this for a long time. He says that the border is one of the biggest problems and one of the main reasons why these drugs even get in the country in the first place.
It's
Which is a bigger problem in our country, would you say?
opioids.
Bigger than alcohol.
Oh, for sure. I think that's one of the biggest problems.
And
Like
compare that to
Wait, did he call Trump homie? He called Trump homie?
it's
Which is a bigger problem in our country, would you say?
opioids.
Bigger than alcohol.
Oh, for sure. I think that's one of the biggest problems.
And
Like,
compare that to fentanyl.
oh yeah, well that's the problem is people are making fake opioids because they can't afford real ones, or they're just getting them off the street and then they put fentanyl in them.
Yeah.
Fentanyl's
like laced into everything now. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah, they found some in a baby rattle somewhere. I think I don't even know where that was. But one of the things I wanted to ask you about was like, so there's like the big pharma lobbyists. Like there's 1,800.
Okay, this is when it gets crazy. This is when it gets crazy.
Was like, so there's like the big pharma lobbyists. Like there's 1,800 big pharma lobbyists in Washington D.C.
Right.
There's only 535 total representatives or senators total. So just the fact that there's this whole other almost drug government that's there kind of pushing pushing agendas and influencing things. Like, how do we stop that, man? It just seems like it's obviously killing people. Like people are dying, it's like, what do we have to do that our own government won't help us?
Well, you have to stop listening to lobbyists. I was not a big person for lobbyists. And if they have even a little access to like a president or a senator or a congressman or woman,
they're snakes.
They get a lot of money.
Yeah.
And in some cases, they just take the money. They don't do anything. But you have a lot of lobbyists in Washington pushing, and certainly a lot for all of the things that we're talking about, including winning. Alcohol.
The lobbyists are winning, it feels
they're
like.
winning. They're making a lot of money. Absolutely.
Can you stop that? Can a president stop that? Like, how do we stop that?
Well, one way you could stop it is to say, if you're going to go into government, you can never be a lobbyist. In many cases, they have rules and regulations where you can't do it for 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever.
You mean be a lobbyist after you were an elected official?
I mean, you could
Is that what you're saying?
You could say that if you're an elected official or if you work in government, you can never be a lobbyist. You have people that work in government and they give out contracts to the military, and then they leave and they work for the people that they're giving out contracts to.
That's exactly what happened with the Sackler family, with the drug companies. They hired people that were on the FDA to work for them so they could loophole the law.
An FDA official who led the approval of OxyContin got a $400,000 gig at Purdue Pharma a year later, a new book reveals. So he just put this up on the screen.
Yeah.
But can we outlaw lobbyists, or we can't do that?
Well, there's a whole constitutional thing there. I mean, can you make somebody never, ever go into the business if you work for government, and especially if you're giving out contracts? In other words, you're a powerful person within some industry, the Navy, the Army, anything. It could be military procurement, etc. There's a whole thing there's a whole question as to you give out a contract and then all of a sudden you're working for the person you gave out the contract to, or the company that you gave it.
Wow. These are gems.
There's a whole thing there's a whole question as to you give out a contract and then all of a sudden you're working for the person you gave out the contract to, or the company that you gave out the contract to.
Right. It's like you're playing both sides of the net.
Well, it's obviously a problem, and it's a big problem, and we were doing things about it, but then we had to get down to other business. We had to solve we had a lot of problems with this country. A lot of problems.
It's pretty clear that the establishment doesn't like you, I would say. What do you think?
Well, I think the people like me.
Oh, yeah, the people.
We're leading now in all the polls. We're leading in Rasmussen just came out a little while. Rasmussen's a very highly regarded poll, and we're leading by 5 points. Rasmussen poll. And others also, and we're doing well. But I think the people like me a lot. You know, we won, and then we did.
No doubt.
So we won in 2016, and then we did much better in 2020. Much better. Got millions and millions more votes. And
why does the establishment keep trying to sink you? Like, what is it that they are so afraid of?
Well, in some cases, the things we're talking about right now, they want to sell product that I'm not interested in. They want to have certain boats and certain chips and.
Wait a minute. What?
Well, in some cases, the things we're talking about right now, they want to sell product that I'm not interested in. They want to have certain boats and certain chips and certain planes and certain everything bought. Pharma is another one that's, interesting.
Or do they push back against you think?
Yeah, I think they do. Well, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that they do. In one way, that's a positive thing politically, because when you can show that they push back, the voters seem to like it. But we have a lot of popularity. We have a lot of people that want to see me come back and win, because we had a great time. We had the greatest economy in history when I was president. We had
my cousin got a boat.
Numbers. Yeah, we had the best.
What?
A lot of people that want to see me come back and
his cousin got a boat.
Win, because we had a great time. We had the greatest economy in history when I was president. We had
my cousin got a boat.
Numbers. Yeah, we had the best job numbers. African American, Hispanic American, if you look, Asian American job numbers, women, men, everybody. We did a lot of good things. We cut taxes more than anybody else, including Ronald Reagan. We cut regulations, which created jobs. We had a great period of time, and I think the people want it back. Based on what I'm seeing, the people want it back.
One thing that you did recently, we had Bernie Sanders on,
right.
And
he did have Bernie Sanders on. That's so. This is Theo Vongh. I know a lot of people in the comments are like, "Who is this?" This is Theo Vongh. He's a comedian, very down to earth comedian, very good friends with Joe Rogan and Dana White, and he interviews literally everybody.
One thing that you did recently, we had Bernie Sanders on,
right.
And
interesting.
And I know
that's very interesting.
Certainly, you guys don't agree on a lot of things, but I think you both acknowledge how horribly rigged the healthcare system is against the American people. Because hospitals and insurance companies get away with hiding their prices from all of us, and literally they can charge whatever they want. It's like you sign up and say,
"Yo, he's talking." Hey, man, this is what we want. We want these types of conversations. This is what we want. Like, do you hear what he's talking to Trump about?
Because hospitals and insurance companies get away with hiding their prices from all of us, and literally they can charge whatever they want. It's like you sign up and say, yes, I'll pay. You trust the hospital, but then you get home and the bill it's whatever, which pretty much feels like some form of extortion to me. That's what it seems like to me.
It's a form.
But you had an executive order where you created a federal rule forcing hospitals and insurers to publish all their prices.
Yep.
Right. So that people would be able to know, okay, if an MRI costs $600 here and it's $5,000.
Yep. You know how many people don't know that? Do you know how many people don't know about this that just found out through Theo Vongh in this interview that Trump did that during his administration?
Forcing hospitals and insurers to publish all their prices.
Yep.
Right. So that people would be able to know, okay, if an MRI costs $600 here and it's $5,000 there, then I can go here and save myself money.
Right.
But that hasn't even been enforced. Like hospitals.
Biden got away with it.
Hospitals and insurance companies, they're still not showing their prices.
They hated it.
Of course they did.
And because it would have made it very competitive. And Biden let it go. He never enforced it. And to get that approved was a big deal. And that would have brought down the price of
so many things.
Not only, just care, right? Care, physical care, mental care. That would have brought down the cost of care by 50, 60%. And Biden and Kamala didn't press it. It was a big thing to get it, but I'll be pressing it. And because I'll be pressing it, and because I'll be pressing it, there are some people that are vehemently against it for financial reasons, for money reasons. But
those people can go to hell, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, no, they're bad people.
What? Look at what he's saying. All right. Okay, I'm geeking out only because the way Theo Vongh, like the way he's talking is like he's having a regular conversation, but he's not having a regular conversation. I like this. See, Trump is not reactive to that either. Trump is just having a good old homie conversation with somebody that's very obviously is very passionate about this stuff. Very, very passionate. And like this is not foreign to Trump. He's heard this before.
There are some people that are vehemently against it for financial reasons, for money reasons. But
those people can go to hell, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, no, they're bad people.
Especially because one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in America is medical debt. I mean, that's crazy. It's pretty crazy. I don't even think I made that up either.
No, it's when you think of it. At first, when you said it, I said, "Wow," and then I'm thinking about it. I said, "It's really not a wow." I understand it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tremendous lobby, tremendous powerful lobby.
Well, yeah, because think about what else is going to put you in medical, like in that much of a debt. It's like, I believe that's accurate. Who's behind the healthcare insurance, that whole thing? Like, who's behind it all? It feels like Chuck Schumer is this kind of like deviant mastermind back there somewhere.
Well, he's one of the people that is hurt, and he's one of the people that keeps the prices high. And he's, gets a lot of...
Wow. He's spilling the beans. What? He's spilling the beans.
And he's one of the people that keep
behind it all. It feels like Chuck Schumer is this kind of like deviant mastermind back there somewhere.
Well, he's one of the people that is hurt, and he's one of the people that keeps the prices high. And he's, gets a lot of contributions from the people on the other side. And him and plenty of other people, a lot of people. It's a very powerful lobby.
But when they
want the most powerful lobby, the lawyer lobby. That feeds into that also. It all feeds in.
The what? The lawyer lobby? What does that mean? Excuse my ignorance here, guys. If you haven't smashed the like button, this is one of those interviews that it's just like, you could tell the algorithm won't feed it to you. You have to look for it.
Him and plenty of other people, a lot of people. It's a very powerful lobby.
But when they want
the most powerful lobby, the lawyer lobby. That feeds into that also. It all feeds into it.
Wait, hold on, just so I understand, Donald. Sorry. So that lobby is a very powerful one.
Yeah.
But why do those people want people to suffer though? Just so they can make money?
Yeah.
Actually, crazy.
Yeah, it really has to do with money.
That's crazy. How much money do they
probably
need?
Start off by saying this is terrible, and then they eventually say, "Well."
But can we just, as a country, say, "Hey, how much? Okay, you need $3 million. We'll give you that. Fuck off.
Yeah,
we want to be healthy.
Yeah,
like, can't we make a deal with those people?
They're very tough to deal with, and they've been taken care of by drug companies and others for years. You have politicians that have been for years being taken care of by people that make a lot of money, and they want to keep making a lot of money. And it is, in that case, it's not a power thing. It's a money thing.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
What are some of the other lobbies that are out there that we don't even know about?
Well, the most powerful lobby is the lawyer lobby, I would say. The teacher's lobby is important or powerful. Sometimes really to the detriment of everybody. But the most powerful lobby is probably the lawyers. Who would think that, right? But they have... that's why if you wanted to get rid of court cases and cut down litigation costs, which in this country is out of control, loser pays.
Crazy.
What you do is you go loser pays. In other words, the loser of a lawsuit has to pay for the other side, has to pay back all the money the other side spent.
You think that would solve it?
Yeah, it would get rid of 75, 80% of the litigation. We are a very litigious country.
It's all bureaucratic. It's all dirty paperwork. It's a bunch of rigmarole.
Well, if that would happen, you'd get rid of a lot of it. but the lawyers are opposed to it. It probably will not happen no matter what, because obviously the lawyers want to.
What would have to happen? The Supreme Court would have to vote on something to make it happen.
I don't know. I think that it maybe would have to go before the Supreme Court, but the most powerful lobby is that lobby. And if you wanted to get rid of litigation, if you went, and Europe has it, a lot of places have it in different countries, where loser pays. If you sue somebody and you lose, you have to pay the costs of the other side.
Yeah, that makes sense, I think.
And what happens is people don't sue. It's a tremendous difference. But this country, the lawyers are very much opposed to it in this country. It's too bad.
Yeah, man, it's just pretty heartbreaking, I feel like.
Yeah, somebody, Grant says, Lou, you need to do your homework about lawyers. They don't want to have caps on lawsuits because they get the litigation. So that's what Trump is talking about here. Big time lawyer lobbyists. Somebody said AIPAC is the biggest lobbying. Don't sound like it. I mean, AIPAC is very, very powerful. I have a true dislike for AIPAC and any of these lobbying. If you think about it, Big Pharma, all these, but the lawyer lobby, interesting. Very, very interesting stuff.
There was a rumor that you almost had RFK Jr. as a potential vice president.
No.
Okay.
This was before RFK, by the way, before the announcement.
Just a rumor.
Yeah,
and
I like him. I've always liked him. But
yeah, I like him too. Bobby and I are friends. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for years.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
He's in there pitching. It's tough. It's a two-party system, and he's a third party. It's a tough thing. He can't get registered now in New York. I see New York, and the Democrats have really opposed him vehemently. I haven't, but the Democrats have really opposed him.
So you think he should be allowed to run everywhere?
Well, the laws don't allow that.
Okay.
And the laws don't allow, unless you have 15 or 20%, whatever it is, they don't allow you to debate. You don't have to debate, so you can't get on the stage. You can't. And the debates are very important. I mean, I had a debate with Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a very meaningful, that was a very consequential debate, to put it mildly.
Well, yeah, they took the hand out of the puppet after that.
Well, they wanted to debate. They gave me everything that I didn't want, CNN. And then they gave me Dana Bash and Jake Tapper. Now, remember this, they were very straight during that debate. I gained a certain respect because Jake Tapper, who I call Fake Tapper, but now I don't do that.
I saw him at Whole Foods.
I don't do that so much anymore. You did. Mm-hmm. But I thought they were very even-handed, if you want to know the truth, during the debate.
I didn't feel like they like the moderate. I didn't feel like they pushed a lot of stuff.
They had certain pressure on them to be even-handed. I think it's hard to not do that. But they were very even-handed, and it was a great debate, but a very important debate.
Well, after that, it seemed like suddenly everybody had been like, oh, Biden's fine. In America for like 18 months. Like my dad was really old when I was born. My dad was 70 when I was born, right? So I don't like seeing senior citizens take advantage of, right? I felt like that happened a lot when I was a kid. And so I think for me, it reflected on me, like it made me really angry because I was like, I know this guy's not well. It's not fair to pretend that he's well. Yeah. It's not fair to him because he doesn't know you're pretending, you know? And it just seemed like the cruelest thing you could do. And then we're all kind of supposed to believe this thing that we know is not real. Our media is just saying this is real. And we're like, we're all just being gaslit as humans about something that's like moral. Like this is a human man. This is somebody's grandfather. And then they just disappear. He just disappears, and suddenly it's like
it was a coup.
Kamala is the one that went in. What do you think happened in the back rooms there? Because that almost was overnight that happened.
I know what happened, and you're not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to be probably constitutional. She got no votes. He got 14 million votes. All of a sudden, they're telling him to get out, or they threatened him.
But who are they when they say that?
He is an angry person. Well,
who are they?
Well, I would say Schumer, Pelosi, and numerous other people. The heads of the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
And they did. They threatened him violently, I think. And he didn't want to get out. Remember, he said, only God will get me out, right? Only God will get me.
Somebody dressed up like God and just chased him out of there.
Yeah. And what happened is they went to him and they said, this was after the debate. Now, if he didn't have the debate, he would still be running.
Yeah. So they set him up. They knew they were going to pull him.
That I don't know. I mean, He had his debate. Maybe he wanted to. I heard he didn't. I heard they offered me things that I would never accept, and I accepted them. They said CNN. They said Jake Tapper, Dana Bash. They said all things that I could not take, and I accepted all of them. And, look, it was a good debate for me. It wasn't a good debate for him. I think he'd still be running right now. You wouldn't have her. She was one of the most disrespected people in the whole country. She was a failed vice president. She was the most, she was considered the worst vice president in the history of our country. She had no chance. If you go back 6 weeks, they were saying how bad she was, and they wanted to choose from 11 different people.
Do you feel?
I thought that's what they were going to have.
Oh, you thought that's really good. Well, that would have seemed more democratic. I think
they wanted to be politically correct, and they chose her.
I feel like it would have seemed more, but dude, I got so angry when they sidetracked Bernie a few years ago. That wasn't fair.
It happened to Bernie twice.
Yeah.
You think about it.
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy. Yeah. 2016 and 22. He just got, it just wasn't cool. Like whatever you think, it's just like, we have to be able to believe.
Would you like Bernie? Are you friends with him or something?
No, I met him the other day.
Trump is fishing. He's fishing like, hey, Theo, you seem to be bringing up Bernie a lot. Is that your guy? Is this? But Trump is cool, man. And I feel like this, like, Trump is cool, dog. Like, I feel like he could talk to anybody. As long as they cool, like as long as they're friends, right? At least as long as they're trying to have a conversation, it feels like.
And 22, he just got, it just wasn't cool. Like whatever you think, it's just like we have to be able to believe.
Would you like Bernie? Are you friends with him or something?
No, I met him the other day.
Was that the first time?
It was the first time.
Were you impressed by him?
Yeah.
One thing, he's still sharp, right?
Oh yeah, he's still sharp.
He doesn't suffer from what Biden did.
No.
Mental dullness.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
mentally gone.
Biden is
mentally
like,
gone.
He's somebody put a merry-go-round in his head, I heard. But that's, but they didn't plug it in. They didn't tell him.
Yeah. Right.
But no, one thing I liked about Bernie, well, one of the things is the healthcare. I just feel like we spend so much money in different places and people are sick, and the opioid epidemic. I just feel like, and the lower cost of drugs, those are things that
because I got insulin down and they took credit for it, but I got it down to $35. And I said, I hope I win because somebody's going to take credit. It takes a period of time before it kicks in statutorily. And I got it down to $35, which is a very low price. And they took credit for it, which is, now I'm taking credit because I'm talking to you,
Well, yeah, if you did it, then you should be able to take credit for it.
I just watched her performance today. So she went out and.
Who, Kamala?
She lied about everything. She said, this Trump tax, that Trump tax, that Trump tax. He's going to tax this. He's going to tax all these different things. And I'm not going to tax them. She made it up.
Did you know that 4 companies?
Okay, guys, that interview was really good. I suggest you guys watch it. There it is, Theo Vongh's channel. You guys can go check it out. It's really, really good. But I do think it's very interesting that Trump says that the lawyer lobby is the most powerful lobby in DC. He also feels that the big pharma is against him. He also got asked a lot of great questions. I would say this is a very, very good interview, I gotta say, man. But Trump did do the insulin. He's taking credit for it here, but unfortunately, they're taking credit for it. So if you want to watch the full interview, go watch it, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that was good to spend some time and being live with you guys while I was looking at this. So make sure to smash the like button. Let me know what you guys think overall about what Trump said. Smash the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.